pork rinds, dog treats. It doesn't need to get discarded, but the most beneficial part I find that most people will not harvest is that internal leg fat. Cut it into strips and you can scrape that fat right off. That fat can be used to go on to roasts or into sausage making, okay? A lot of value that gets kind of lost in that leg skin. So definitely not just a throwaway, okay? Every bone that we took out, there wasn't very many. There was our hip bone, or the H bone. We had our femur bone, and then the one spur bone from our hock. All definitely good for soup. Soup, broths, that type of stuff. Tailbone as well. You can do, there are some different recipes out there. Very much slow roasting kind of things. Not a lot of meat on it, but definitely good for soup. That's going to be very, very flavorful muscle. A lot of use in that. So has anyone ever had like oxtail soup, like from beef oxtail? Yeah. Fantastic, very good flavor there. Same thing with the tail. Pigs' tails are docked when they're younger, but they still do move them and everything. So this little section that's left does get a lot of connective tissue and muscle use. So that is also, once again, very good for soup. The trotter or the foot, of course. Dog treat, soups, pickled pig's feet, whatever you want. Definitely could have that for some sort of value as well. Then when we get into the actual internal muscles, we have our beef shank, once again, or our pork shank or hock. Could just be left as is, the piece that it was, or you could French it up and make it look all fancy like that. Then we had inside round piece for steak as well as a roast. You had your sirloin tip muscle that we made a nice little roast out of, as well as steaks. We had more steaks from our top sirloin butt section. Who remembers what this piece was? That was the heel, exactly. So the heel, once again, very tough piece. Usually always goes into trim, but why not make something like a little ossobuco out of it, okay? Needs to be braised, isn't a grillable piece. Then we have our little bit of trimmings where we got a nice batch of stir fry. That's good for one little batch. And a nice little batch of pork stew as well. And then our value added pieces. Outside round, which most people would just turn into a roast or at best cutlets. That's a nice solid muscle, as you can see. They would denude it, take all the fat and make cutlets out of it. But with a little bit of knife work, we've actually turned it into something a lot more high end, okay? And then same with our eye of round, a piece that would usually just go into trim, cutlets, maybe stew, always overlooked, can definitely be turned into something of higher end also. So, that's our pork leg demo for you guys. Is there any questions at this point? Nothing. Perfect. Once again, that means I did it perfectly. That's what that means.
It's beautiful.
You're very welcome. Well, I didn't do my lemon garnish. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That made it.
How did you cut the lemon? That I do remember.